I saw it at the time. I stick by it. Hundreds of people have confirmed it.
This didn't happen in New Jersey. There were plenty of reports, and you're feeding a stereotype.
Chuck, it did happen in New Jersey. I have hundreds of people that agree with me. And by the way,
but they want to agree with you. That doesn't make it true. You're running for president of the United States. Your words matter. Truthfulness matters. Fact-based stuff matters.
Chuck, take it easy, Chuck. Just play cool. I have a very good memory, Chuck. I'll tell you, I have a very good memory. I saw it somewhere on television many years ago, and I never forgot it.
A heated exchange there with Donald Trump on Meet the Press as a seemingly exasperated Chuck Todd confronts the GOP presidential candidate about his refusal to back down from a claim that thousands of Muslims in New Jersey were seen on TV cheering after the 9/11 attacks. And he essentially calls Trump a hypocrite for demanding pinpoint accuracy from the media, but not doing the same thing himself. Joining us now to talk about this, Tammy Bruce, a radio talk show host at TammyBruce.com and a Fox News contributor. Alan Colmes is also with us, host of the Alan Colmes Show, nationally syndicated by Fox News Radio. Does Chuck Todd have a point?
Well, it sounded a little bit like talk radio there. It sounded like an unbiased journalist. Look, I don't know if he, I would love to hear him approach Barack Obama that way, or even Brian Williams, who he sits with over there at NBC. It's an interesting attitude to have. Look, this is what they prefer to have, I suppose. It gets them all upset. I know that the president now is talking about the weather in Paris, and we've had, of course, these massacres there and terrorism around the world. It seems like the priorities are a little screwed up. But here's what we've got. You've got the media and you've got the Democrats. They don't want you talking about the nature of the world and what's really going on. I think that Chuck Todd, on Meet the Press as a supposed journalist, to approach any guest in that fashion is absurd. It is what
exactly what he should
it's what Alan and I should be doing. So maybe I should be hosting Meet the Press. I mean, well, who knew?
It's a good gig if you can get it. This is exactly what a journalist should do. He is the leading Republican candidate with 30-some-odd% of the points going to him at this point, and he should be confronted on these kinds of things. Produce the video. He says there's a video. His campaign manager says the media is hiding the video because they want an establishment candidate to win. Go ahead, produce it. You know, in a digital world, it would have gone viral by now. Produce the video. If you're saying this exists, there's got to be tape of it, right? Produce it.
It also is curious, Tammy. I mean, Donald Trump says, I've got a very good memory and I saw it, but he can't tell us where he saw it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, look, we're all human beings, and I think this is what's interesting to Americans, though. We are tired of people being bullied into apologizing. We're tired of people being afraid to speak their mind. We're tired of the media and the establishment running around saying they're the best ones to do this job, and yet, if Donald Trump is the problem, look at the world. All of these supposedly wonderfully suited people and stable people who've been running the world. We've got World War III, we've got ISIS, we've got an awful economy,
we've got
a guy worrying about the weather. But look, here's what I think the American people can do is make a decision about what's appropriate. Donald Trump has been created by this system, and Chuck Todd's upset. Maybe they should be confronting Barack Obama with that same kind of passion that we heard.
How you want to change the topic from the leading Republican candidate who'd like to have the White House to Barack Obama, about which this has nothing to do. And here's a guy
who's in charge right now, though.
He's running for president, and
but Barack Obama's in charge.
As Chuck Todd pointed out, but this is a Republican candidacy. As Chuck Todd pointed out, words matter. And here's a guy who said, you know what's even worse than what he said about Muslims on rooftops is when he wants to give ID badges to Muslims, something that harkens back to Nazi Germany and the Jews. This is something he needs to be confronted on as well.
Now we get into the urban myths of things that Donald Trump never said.
Where is the media?
This is the issue.
He did say it. He agreed to it. He wants to identify Muslims, and that is even more damaging.
But we've already done that with the terror database. I mean, this is where it happens, where you have something made up by a reporter, and then several weeks later we talk about it as though it's a fact. This is the problem with sometimes what the media does when they're looking for headlines. And I know this is politics, and that's fine.
This is a guy who wants to be president, and he wants to profile people by religion.
I understand that. Donald Trump has no power right now, and I would love, if Chuck Todd's going to get that excited about something, let's get excited about the man who has real power and where the world is on fire.
Let's get excited about the people who would like to be the next president, what they truly stand for, and if they can back up their words.
Of course, many of the Republican candidates have long been saying that Donald Trump will not be the nominee of the party, but so far that doesn't seem to be heading in their direction. Listen here to Governor John Kasich of Ohio.
I know all the press keeps speculating on what he's going to do. You all said he was going to fall, then he didn't. Now you're, all, you're all, up in the air about, well, maybe he's going to make it. He's not going to make it.
Well, that probably will earn him a nasty gram from Donald Trump, because
poor John getting a nasty gram from Donald. Yeah.
You know what? I love this establishment, though. These are the people that told us they knew who was going to win in 2008 and 2012. That they've been in charge all these years, and
so
now
you think the Republican establishment deserves this?
Look, I am not a fan of Donald Trump, but my goodness, these people who have ruined this country, both sides of the aisle, who sit there as though they're know-it-alls and they're going to say who's going to be the president. That's what they thought. They thought they knew who was going to be president. This did kind of upset their plans a little. John Kasich, Jeb Bush are very upset because they thought this was their game. The American people have changed it. They don't necessarily like the direction it's going in, but I don't have any sympathy for them at all.
John Kasich and Jeb Bush are much more serious candidates and much more deserving of the White House than Donald Trump.
Says the liberal, proves my point.
We will we'll continue to follow the media coverage of this campaign. Good discussion on a Monday morning. Alan Colmes, Tammy Bruce, thank you.
Thanks, guys.